The comm station hummed with a low, persistent drone, its array of monitors casting a pale blue light across Dr. Elena Rodriguez's weary face. She had been tracking unusual energy signatures for weeks, her obsession growing with each passing day. Most of her colleagues at the Deep Space Research Outpost thought she was chasing ghosts, but Elena knew better. Her fingers danced across the holographic interface, parsing through layers of complex data streams. The Kepler 472 system had always been an anomaly, too quiet, too perfect. Something didn't add up. Elena's background in xenoarchaeology and quantum physics made her uniquely suited to detect what others might miss. A sudden spike in the quantum resonance field caught her attention. The readings were unlike anything she had ever seen before. Irregular. Pulsing. Alive. Computer, she called out, her voice cutting through the station's ambient noise, run a full spectral analysis on the latest quantum fluctuation in Sector 7 Epsilon. The AI's neutral tone responded almost immediately. Analysis complete. Quantum signature does not match any known natural or artificial phenomenon in our database. Elena leaned forward, her heart racing. This was it, the moment she had been waiting for. The moment that could change everything humanity understood about the universe. Miles away, in the forgotten corners of the same research station, Kai Chen worked diligently in the maintenance tunnels. A brilliant engineer with a past he preferred to keep hidden, Kai had a reputation for solving problems that seemed impossible. His mechanical augmentations, a result of a classified military rehabilitation program, made him more machine than man, at least according to some of the station's gossip. The sudden station-wide alert interrupted his routine diagnostics. Kai's cybernetic eye flickered, processing information faster than any human brain could comprehend. Something was happening. Something big. Back in the comm station, Elena's excitement was quickly turning to tension. The quantum signature was growing, expanding. It wasn't just a signal, it was a message. Or worse, an invitation. Prepare quantum encryption protocol, she muttered, her fingers flying across the interface. Begin recording all data streams. Just then, a massive energy surge ripped through the station's systems. Lights flickered. Computers glitched. For a brief moment, everything went dark. When the systems restored, a message appeared. Not in any known human language, but in a complex, geometric pattern that seemed to shift and breathe with an almost organic intelligence. Kai's augmented systems picked up the transmission simultaneously. His cybernetic implants translated fragments, glimpses of something vast, something ancient. Preliminary translation suggests a greeting. Kai's voice carried a mix of confusion and anticipation through the station's communication network. Elena's breath caught in her throat. First contact. After centuries of searching, humanity was about to meet something truly alien. Little did they know, this moment would mark the beginning of a journey that would challenge everything they thought they knew about existence, consciousness, and humanity's place in the cosmic order. The quantum signature continued to pulse. Wait. Respond. Understand. And somewhere, in the vast darkness between stars, something was waiting. Watching. Preparing. The station's emergency protocols hummed to life, bathing the corridors in a soft amber light. Elena Rodriguez stood motionless, her mind racing to comprehend the geometric message that had seemingly materialized from the quantum realm. Kai Chen's augmented systems continued to process the transmission, each decoded fragment revealing more questions than answers. This isn't just a signal, Elena muttered, her fingers tracing the holographic projection of the alien communication. It's a complex linguistic structure unlike anything in our xenolinguistic databases. Kai stepped closer, his cybernetic eye casting a subtle blue glow as it analyzed the patterns. The mathematical precision is extraordinary. It's not random, it's deliberate communication, but structured in a way that challenges our entire understanding of language. The station's lead administrator, Dr. Marcus Holloway, burst into the comm center, his usual composed demeanor replaced by a mix of excitement and barely contained panic. "Rodriguez, Chen, explain. Now." Elena took a deep breath. "Sir, we've received what appears to be a deliberate communication from an unknown source. The quantum signature suggests an intelligence far beyond our current comprehension. It's not just a message, it's a complex invitation." Kai's augmentations began to decode more fragments. Symbols transformed into partial concepts, words that seemed to dance between mathematical equations and poetic abstractions. "There's a recurring pattern," he said, his voice becoming more intense. "It references something called the convergence protocol. Dr. Holloway's skepticism was palpable. An invitation to what, exactly? Before anyone could respond, the station's main computer system began to react. Holographic displays flickered, showing intricate star maps that seemed to rearrange themselves in real time. Quantum energy readings spiked, creating a web of light that pulsed throughout the research facility. "It's accessing our systems," Elena realized, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. "But not like a typical cyber intrusion. It's more like a conversation." Kai's cybernetic implants began to struggle, overloaded by the incoming data stream. "The communication is adaptive," he grunted, small sparks dancing around his technological augmentations. "It's learning. Changing. Responding to our attempts to understand it." Dr. Holloway stepped back, his scientific training battling with a primal sense of uncertainty. "Shut it down. Cut all communications." "We can't," Elena argued, her hand outstretched toward the holographic display. "This is the first genuine contact with an intelligence beyond our comprehension. Cutting it off would be the greatest scientific mistake in human history." The geometric patterns began to morph, creating what looked like a three-dimensional map. Certain points pulsed with an intense light, some human research stations, others completely unknown locations scattered across the galaxy. "The convergence protocol," Kai repeated, his voice now a blend of human emotion and technological precision. "It's not just a message. It's a invitation. No, more than that. A test." Elena's eyes widened. "A test for what?" Before anyone could answer, the station's quantum core began to resonate. The walls seemed to vibrate with an energy that was both terrifying and magnificent. Something was coming. Something that would challenge everything humanity believed about its place in the universe. Dr. Holloway's voice was barely a whisper. "What have we awakened?" The quantum message continued its relentless transmission. "Wait. Prepare. The convergence approaches." The United Earth Council chamber erupted in chaos. Holographic projections of global leaders flickered with tension, their faces a mixture of fear, curiosity, and barely contained aggression. "We cannot allow an unknown quantum intelligence to infiltrate our systems." Admiral Helena Reyes thundered, her voice cutting through the cacophony of arguments. As head of Earth's Interstellar Defense Command, she represented humanity's most militaristic perspective. Elena Rodriguez stood before the council, her presentation displaying the intricate quantum communication patterns. Kai Chin stood beside her, his cybernetic systems still processing the alien transmission. "This isn't an invasion," Elena argued, her voice calm but passionate. "It's a communication. The complexity of the signal suggests an intelligence far beyond traditional concepts of warfare or territorial expansion." Dr. Marcus Holloway interjected, providing scientific credibility to Elena's argument. "The quantum signature demonstrates a level of mathematical sophistication that suggests communication, not conflict. Every attempt we've made to interpret the message reveals layers of complexity that challenge our understanding of intelligence itself." Admiral Reyes slammed her hand on the holographic interface. "Complexity doesn't mean peaceful intentions. We've prepared defensive protocols for exactly this scenario." Kai's augmented eye scanned the room, processing multiple conversations simultaneously. "The communication pattern suggests a test," he said quietly, his voice carrying an unusual blend of human intuition and technological precision. Not an invasion. Not a threat. A challenge. The council chamber fell silent. Deep within the research station, something was changing. The quantum core began to pulse with an increased intensity, creating ripples of energy that defied conventional physics. Monitoring systems across the station went haywire, displaying impossible mathematical sequences that seemed to breathe and shift like living entities. "The convergence protocol is accelerating," Elena whispered, more to herself than to anyone else. Suddenly, a massive energy surge ripped through the station's systems. Holographic displays exploded with geometric patterns, creating a three-dimensional map that stretched beyond the known boundaries of human exploration. Locations previously unknown began to illuminate, distant research outposts, forgotten space stations, and points in space that shouldn't exist according to current scientific understanding. Admiral Reyes' military instincts took over. Prepare defensive formations. Activate quantum shield protocols. But Kai understood something the others didn't. "Wait," he said, his augmented systems working overtime to process the incoming data. "This isn't a threat. It's an invitation." The map continued to expand, revealing a complex network of connections that seemed to pulse with an almost organic rhythm. Some points were human installations, others were completely unknown, suggesting civilizations or entities humanity had never encountered. "The convergence," Kai muttered, "is about connection. Not conflict." Elena's scientific mind raced. The quantum communication was more than a message, it was a test. A challenge to humanity's understanding of intelligence, communication, and its place in the universe. Dr. Holloway approached the holographic display, his decades of scientific experience struggling to comprehend what they were witnessing. "It's like the universe is presenting us with a puzzle," he said softly. "And our response will determine everything." The station's quantum core continued to pulse. Wait. Understand. Prepare. Outside, beyond the station's reinforced walls, space itself seemed to ripple with anticipation. Something was coming. Something that would force humanity to redefine everything it thought it knew about existence, intelligence, and the vast, incomprehensible nature of the cosmos. The convergence was approaching. And humanity would soon discover whether it was ready to answer the call. The experimental quantum vessel Horizon trembled at the edge of known space, its hull designed to withstand pressures and energies that would obliterate conventional spacecraft. Elena Rodriguez stood at the primary navigation console, her fingers hovering over controls that seemed to pulse with an almost living energy. "Quantum drive charging," Kai Chen's voice announced, his cybernetic systems fully integrated with the ship's advanced systems. Convergence coordinates locked. They had been chosen, selected by a process none of them fully understood. The United Earth Council had initially resisted, but the mounting evidence suggested that this mission was more than a mere exploration. It was a response to the cosmic invitation they had received. Dr. Marcus Holloway monitored a series of holographic displays, each one showing increasingly complex quantum signatures. "The communication pattern is evolving," he muttered. "It's adapting to our understanding in real time." Admiral Helena Reyes, reluctantly assigned to the mission, watched from the tactical station. Her fingers never strayed far from the emergency defense protocols. "I don't like this," she said, her voice a low growl. "We're flying blind into something we can't comprehend." Elena turned, her eyes bright with scientific passion. "That's precisely why we're here. Humanity has always pushed beyond its known boundaries. This is no different." The ship's quantum core began to resonate, creating a symphony of energy that seemed to vibrate through the very fabric of space-time. Outside the reinforced viewports, reality itself appeared to twist and shimmer. "Quantum distortion increasing," Kai reported. His augmented eye flickered, processing information at speeds no human mind could comprehend. "We're approaching the first convergence point." A massive holographic display materialized in the center of the bridge, showing a complex three-dimensional map. Hundreds of points of light represented research stations, unexplored regions, and mysterious coordinates that seemed to exist between known space. The convergence protocol, Dr. Holloway explained, appears to be a network. Not just a communication, but a connection. Suddenly, the ship lurched. Not a physical movement, but something deeper, a shift that seemed to pass through their very consciousness. The quantum drive hummed with an intensity that made the air itself feel charged. "We're being pulled," Elena said, her voice a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "Not by gravitational forces. Something else entirely." Admiral Reyes' hand moved to the emergency shutdown controls. "Prepare for." Before she could finish, a burst of quantum energy erupted around the horizon. The ship didn't move in any conventional sense. Instead, reality itself seemed to fold, twist, and reconfigure. They were traveling. But not through space as they understood it. Kai's augmented systems struggled to process the information. "We're moving through quantum entanglement points," he said, his voice distant. "It's like, we're being guided." The ship's internal systems began to display impossible mathematical sequences. Geometric patterns that seemed to breathe and change, communicating something just beyond human comprehension. "The convergence," Elena whispered, "is teaching us how to understand." Outside, the familiar stars disappeared. Replaced by something else. Something vast. Something alive. The journey had truly begun. The horizon existed in a state between reality and possibility. Time had become a fluid concept, stretching and compressing in ways that defied human understanding. Elena Rodriguez stood at the center of the bridge, her scientific mind struggling to comprehend the impossible landscape that surrounded them. Quantum fractals danced outside the ship's viewports, intricate patterns of light and energy that seemed to pulse with intelligence. They were no longer traveling through space. They were being guided, taught, examined. "The communication is changing," Kai-Chen announced, his cybernetic systems working at maximum capacity. Streams of data flowed around him like living rivers of information. "It's no longer just a message. It's a dialogue." Dr. Marcus Holloway approached the holographic display, his weathered hands tracing the complex geometric patterns. "We're not just observing," he said quietly. "We're being tested." Admiral Helena Reyes remained tense, her hand never far from the emergency defense systems. "Tested for what?" she demanded. Before anyone could respond, the ship's quantum core began to pulse with an intensity that made the air itself feel alive. The geometric patterns surrounding them shifted, forming what looked like a massive, multidimensional puzzle. Elena's eyes widened. "It's a challenge," she realized. "Not a threat. A challenge to our understanding." Suddenly, the ship's systems projected a series of complex scenarios. Impossible ethical dilemmas. Quantum paradoxes that required simultaneous multiple perspective problem solving. Each scenario seemed to adapt in real time to their responses, becoming more intricate with each interaction. Kai's augmented systems began to translate. "The convergence protocol is assessing our cognitive flexibility," he explained. "Our ability to think beyond linear logic. To understand complexity." One scenario materialized with startling clarity. A quantum simulation of a catastrophic event, multiple civilizations on the brink of mutual destruction. The challenge: find a solution that preserved life without compromising individual autonomy. "This isn't just about scientific knowledge," Dr. Holloway said, his voice filled with wonder. "It's about collective problem solving. Empathy. Understanding." Admiral Reyes watched skeptically, but even she couldn't deny the profound nature of the challenge. Each potential solution they proposed was met with increasingly complex counterarguments, forcing them to think beyond traditional human limitations. Hours passed, or perhaps moments. Time had lost all meaning. Elena realized the true nature of their journey. "We're not just exploring space," she said, her voice filled with a mixture of excitement and humility. "We're being invited to prove our potential. To show what humanity can become." The quantum patterns around them began to shift, responding to their collective thought processes. It was as if the very fabric of reality was listening, learning, evaluating. Kai's systems detected something profound. "The convergence isn't just testing us," he said. "It's communicating something fundamental about the nature of intelligence. About connection." A final scenario materialized, more complex than anything they had encountered. It required simultaneous logical, emotional, and intuitive problem-solving. A true test of human potential. "Together," Elena said, looking at her teammates. "We solve this together." The ship hummed with anticipation. The universe watched. And humanity prepared to demonstrate its most extraordinary capability, the ability to grow, to understand, to transcend. The boundary between reality and possibility had become translucent. The horizon hung suspended in a realm that defied conventional understanding, its crew having passed through countless trials of the convergence protocol. Elena Rodriguez stood motionless, her mind fundamentally altered by the experiences they'd endured. The quantum challenges had stripped away layers of human limitation, revealing potentials they never knew existed. "We're close," Kai-Chen said, his cybernetic systems now so integrated with the ship's quantum core that the line between human and technology had blurred. "The final convergence is approaching." Dr. Marcus Holloway watched the holographic displays, which now seemed to breathe with living intelligence. Geometric patterns of unimaginable complexity danced around them, each movement a language more profound than words could express. Admiral Helena Reyes, once the most skeptical among them, now sat in quiet contemplation. The trials had transformed her understanding of humanity's potential. "We're not just explorers," she said softly. "We're becoming something more." A massive quantum pulse erupted around the horizon. Reality itself seemed to fold, twist, and reconfigure. The ship, if it could still be called a ship, was no longer bound by physical constraints. "The final test," Elena whispered. The quantum core projected a culminating challenge. It was more than a scenario. It was a vision of potential futures, countless branching paths of human evolution. Each path represented a choice, a possibility of what humanity could become. Some paths showed destruction. Others, transcendence. "We choose," Kai translated, his voice a blend of human emotion and technological precision. "Not just for ourselves. For all of humanity." The crew worked in perfect synchronization. No longer individuals, but a collective consciousness. They navigated the quantum landscape, selecting pathways that balanced survival with compassion, technological advancement with empathetic understanding. Dr. Holloway realized the true nature of the convergence. "It's not an alien test," he said. "It's a mirror. Reflecting our highest potential." The final moment approached. A single point of infinite possibility. Elena's hand reached out, touching a holographic representation that seemed to pulse with the collective hopes of humanity. In that moment, they were more than themselves. They were a bridge between what humanity was and what it could become. A brilliant burst of quantum energy erupted. And everything changed. When the light faded, the horizon was transformed. No longer a mere spacecraft, but a beacon of possibility. A testament to human potential. The universe watched. And waited. Humanity had answered the call.